Hello, welcome. My name is Tracy. I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator here in Australia. Thank you so much for joining me today. Today I'll be making one of my card swaps for On Stage in Orlando. This one's using Grey Granite, Berry Burst and Whisper White, and I've also got a little bit of powder pink in there as well. So this is using the Takeout Treats stamp set and bundle. We're using the framelits as well, and that's in the Stampin' Up holiday catalogue. The other thing we're using is the Starburst Punch, the Everyday Label Punch, and the inks for this card are Berry Burst and Grey Granite. I have the card kit here, and you can find all the measurements and supplies over on my blog, which is in the description of this video. You can also see a link to my online store where you can purchase all your Stampin' Up supplies. There's also a hostess code that you can use. If you're placing an order through me, please use that hostess code and I'll send you out a free gift. So we do have the kit here, and the only thing that I can't show you today is I won't be die cutting this piece. I've lost the die cut somewhere. My room is an absolute mess, so I'm sure that'll turn up. Well, I'm crossing my fingers that it'll turn up, but I've got a couple that I've already pre-done, so I'll be using this one here today. So we're going to start off with this lovely background. It's got a lot of shimmer in it, and I think that that's being picked up there. And we're using the Frost White shimmer paint. So I'll show you how to use that now. So I'm just going to bring a block in, and also the Berry Burst ink pad. And what I want to do is I just want to pop a little bit of ink there on that acrylic block. Then I'm going to bring in the shimmer paint, making sure that it's well mixed together. Just going to use an old spoon and pop a little bit on that acrylic block. So just like that. That is heaps. So I have my aqua brush here as well, and I'm just going to add a little bit of water slightly to it and mix that all around. And that gives a really bright shimmer to that colour. Just might add a little bit of water. That's great. So bringing that piece of Whisper White in, I'm just going to do a bit of a water wash there. And that won't take too long to dry. I'm just going to leave that to the side and let that dry. You do want to clean your aqua brush really well with that shimmer paint though. So bringing in that piece of Whisper White, we're going to do our Love You Lots and the lovely heart there. So let's bring in the Berry Burst again. And I have my heart stamp here out of the Takeout Treats stamp set. Let's stamp that one down. And then I'm also going to bring in the Grey Granite ink and stamp the Love You Lots on there as well. So I'm going to bring the big shot in, and we're just going to die cut those two pieces. I have my magnetic platform down. I did say I was going to die cut these two pieces. We're actually going to punch this one out. So just with my classic label punch, I'm just going to punch out the Love You Lots. I really love this Grey Granite. I'm glad they brought this colour out. So just centering it as best as I can. And we have that piece. And while we've got the punches out, I'm going to use a Starburst punch with the powder pink cardstock. So that's one of those. And the mat that I have in Berry Burst, I'm just going to use the Everyday Label punch and punch one of them out. Because that's all going to be hidden and it's a matte, I can punch from that without any worries. So that one's just about dry. What we might do is we might attach to the Love You Lots. I have the rose metallic thread. And I'm just going to put, using 2 fingers, I'm just going to do, I think 3 goes around. We're going to attach that with a glue dot. Making sure I put both those ends down in that glue dot. There we are. And I'm actually going to attach that to the back of the label there, just around the lots part. There we go. So there's a few of those little tiny ends that hang over the side, so I'm just going to trim them. Careful not to trim anything else. There we go. That looks good. So onto my heart, I'm just going to bring my Tombow glue in and just attach a little bit along there, and I can attach the label down. And to this heart, just to give it a little bit of extra oomph, we're going to just put a basic rhinestone down, just one of the smaller ones, just in that top right hand side. And I can glue this straight to that banner that I've pre-cut that I've lost so far. That die. So let's pop a bit of glue down. And popping that on the angle. And we're just going to put some glue on the 2 banners at the ends there, and that'll glue straight down onto that Berry Burst label. Now, Tombow's a really good glue because it has a bit of wiggle room, but you've just got to hang on to it just for a few seconds and it'll hold down really tight. So we're going to glue this one down to our Starburst punch. And this has a little bit of dimension there, which I really liked. So none of this other stuff's popped up. That's the only dimension that we have on the card. So there won't be any problems going through the mailing system or anything like that. So that's all done there. Let's bring in that stamp, and we're going to stamp these hearts all the way around our Whisper White piece. So Berry Burst ink again. And I'm going to stick, I sort of put them around a circle, so they're sort of peeking out around the Starburst punch and around the dimensions. There we go. And it's simply all just layered together. So we're going to layer the Whisper White piece to our Berry Burst. So it's a quick card to come together. When you're making multiples, there was a lot of, I just worked on the one thing, so I done all the hearts and then I done all the sentiments and cut them all out, and then I die cut the grey granite banner, and then I folded all those pieces together, so it's all just done in layers, in steps. So down in the middle of the grey granite. And the grey granite and berry burst looks really, really nice together. And just the other thing is Whisper White usually doesn't hold up to too much water. It works really well with this, so I didn't have any problems. But if you'd prefer using the shimmery white or the watercolour paper, you could, but it didn't warp it too much. So I think the key is to not add too much water to it. So let's pop this down onto the card as well. So like I said before, all the measurements for both the Australian size card and the card front for the American version is on my blog. Go and check that out. I'd love it if you left me a comment there as well. And then we're just going to glue down this piece. So inside the card, I'm just going to stamp that heart again. And I'm leaving the sentiment blank for this inside. You can write whatever you would like. Okay. And that's our card. So that's the Australian version and this is the American card front. So the card front, there'll be a white piece to go as the card base for the Americans. If you would like me to send you one of these, I'm going to send this one out. If you leave a comment, I will pick a person and then I'll send that one out to you. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you've enjoyed this tutorial. Until next time, have a good day. Bye.